Have you ever replaced the catalytic converter because of a P0420 or 430 code, only to see the light come back on weeks later? These codes are some of the most common and most misdiagnosed trouble codes in the field. They seem simple, but chasing them without the right data can cost your shop time, money, and customer trust. Here's the thing, your scan tool might be giving you more useful data than you realize, if you know where to look. So hang out, because on today's Around the Wheel, we're going to show you how to unlock the full diagnostic power of the global OBD2 using the Launch Throttle 5 scan tool, specifically to troubleshoot catalyst efficiency codes like P0420 and 430. How you can go beyond basic DTCs and live data to see actual pass-fail test results that the PCM uses to set these codes in the first place. Before we go diving into diagnostics, let's take a quick look and see what these DTCs actually mean. We know the catalytic converter chemically converts harmful byproducts of combustion into less than harmful compounds. It converts carbon monoxide into carbon dioxide, hydrocarbons into water and carbon dioxide, and reduces nitrogen oxides into nitrogen and oxygen. But here's the thing, these reactions only work efficiently in a very narrow band around stoichiometry. That's where the oxygen levels are just right for all three reactions to occur simultaneously. And that's where the three-way converter's secret weapon comes in, its ability to store and release oxygen. The converter is able to store excess oxygen when the air-fuel ratio is lean and release it when it's rich. And it's the converter's ability to store and release oxygen that the vehicle monitors when it's looking at catalyst efficiency. When you start pretty much any scan tool diagnostic process, there's two paths you can go down. Do you want to connect through the enhanced side using OEM-specific data, or through global OBD2? Let's look what that actually means, because knowing the difference will certainly impact your diagnostic strategy. The enhanced side gives you access to manufacturer-specific data, detailed fuel trims, proprietary codes, transmission data, ABS, and more. It's deep, but it varies a lot between makes. You might see different naming conventions, different parameter IDs, and even different test strategies depending on the automaker. Now, the global OBD2 side, also called generic OBD2, is built around a standardized communication protocol. Every OBD2 compliant vehicle, no matter the make or model, supports most of these standardized modes. This is where things like Mode 6 come into play, which is one of your biggest allies when it comes to diagnostics. It lets you view the actual test results the PCM uses to determine things like catalyst efficiency. And the best part, these results are available before a DTC even sets, so you can catch marginal or intermittent failures early. So hopefully you're starting to understand why the global side of the scan tool is so helpful in diagnosing catalyst efficiency DTCs. Let's take a look at the tool, starting out on the manufacturer side, but then jumping over to the global side, and a few things that the Throttle 5 does to streamline our diagnostic approach. We have been discussing the global side of OBD2, but the diagnostic procedure should start with a full diagnostic scan, and the Throttle 5 performs a comprehensive full system scan on the manufacturer side of the tool with an extremely helpful topological layout. This is going to give the tech a comprehensive look at what DTCs are present and in what nodes, which is very helpful when it comes to mapping out a diagnostic process. When it comes to P codes, once you get the lay of the land on the manufacturer side and verify that there isn't any communication DTCs or anything else hidden that can cause us to change our diagnostic direction, we can jump back over to the global side of the tool. Global OBD2, as we talked about earlier, has some distinct advantages when it comes to diagnosing vehicle problems like catalyst efficiency codes. Once connected, you'll see a list of diagnostic modes. Each one gives you a specific type of data. For catalyst diagnostics, there are a number of them that are going to be useful, both in the diagnostic process and also to confirm the repair is complete once it's done. Keep in mind, it's a best practice to confirm any engine-related performance DTCs in the PCM or ECM that you find during your all-system scan in Mode 3. Remember, the global side of the tool is going to be a standardized information across all OBD2 compliant vehicles, and having that global DTC designator can help alleviate any confusion. Next, before we go any further, we need to make sure that someone has not done half the work for us, and the Throttle 5 makes that process simple. Launch has incorporated the X431 fix option to bring us right to motor service information right in the tool, allowing us to easily navigate and look at not only TSBs related to any DTCs we are seeing, but also allowing us to easily look at code-specific criteria such as circuit or system description, conditions for running the DTC, as well as conditions for clearing the DTC once the repair is complete. I cannot stress enough the importance of having access and then utilizing good, accurate service information in order to get an understanding of under what conditions the DTC will set, and then what needs to happen in order to get the monitor complete once the vehicle is repaired, so we can verify the diagnosis was accurate and the fix will take care of the issue. When a P0420 or 430 sets, an often overlooked resource within Global OBD2 is freeze-frame data, or Mode 2. It captures a snapshot of operating conditions at the moment the DTC was stored, things like O2 sensor voltage readings, fuel trims, loop status, engine speed, vehicle speed, and throttle position. Combined with service information, this makes it easy to replicate those exact conditions on a test drive or in the bay, helping you to confirm the fault and avoid guesswork. It's a powerful diagnostic tool that often goes unused. We know the conditions needed to set the DTC and what was happening when it was set. Now we can turn to live data, or Mode 1. This engine performance data directly affects tailpipe emissions, and through the global side of the tool, it's largely standardized. Manufacturer-specific naming and data sets are stripped away, leaving a universal set of PIDs and values that we can quickly recognize. We know that from looking at motor service information that this vehicle uses a switch ratio test to monitor catalyst efficiency, meaning it measures the oxygen storage capacity of the converter by manipulating the fuel trim and watching how the downstream sensor reacts. Remember, the converter is going to store oxygen when the AFR is lean and release it when it's rich. If the converter is able to store oxygen in the quantity needed, then the downstream oxygen sensor will retain a relatively steady voltage output. Because of this, there are a few key PIDs that we're going to want to focus on. First, ensure that the vehicle is in proper fuel control. A gasoline engine can run over a wide AFR range, but the three-way catalytic converter works efficiently only near 14.7 to 1. Monitor long and short-term fuel trims. They should ideally be within a few percent of zero. Fuel trims skew too far in either direction can trigger false catalyst efficiency DTCs, so any major fuel control issues must be corrected before replacing the converter. Things like vacuum leaks, fuel supply issues, and even bad manifold gaskets or cracked or broken flex pipes can all affect the accuracy of a catalyst monitoring system and present false DTCs that, if not properly diagnosed, can lead to costly and unnecessary repairs. We also want to check both upstream and downstream oxygen sensor voltages. Since the converter depends on stoichiometric AFRs, the fueling relies heavily on oxygen or air-fuel ratio sensor data. Slow or unresponsive sensors can cause false efficiency DTCs. Using Mode 1, data in a graphical view gives us a quick visual of sensor performance, especially on vehicles with traditional narrowband O2 sensors. The upstream sensor or sensors should switch efficiently between about 100 and 800 millivolts, while the downstream sensor or sensors should hold a steady output voltage when the converter is lit off. This is going to indicate good oxygen storage capacity. But is the upstream switching enough? Is the downstream switching too much? It's hard to judge by eye, and with the global side of OBD2, you don't have to. Let's bring it full circle back to Mode 6. With just a few taps, the Launch Throttle 5 shows you the exact test data the PCM uses. No guesswork required. Mode 6 contains onboard monitor test results, making it invaluable for diagnosing issues, spotting pending problems, and confirming repairs. You'll find results for misfire detection, evap operation, oxygen sensor performance, and catalyst efficiency. Unlike other OBD2 modes that give only a pass-fail, Mode 6 delivers the actual numerical test data. Mode 6 is raw test data, but with the right know-how and help from the Throttle 5, it becomes a powerful tool. Since O2 sensor performance is key to measuring converter efficiency, a quick look at this data can prevent future problems. The Throttle 5 interprets the hexadecimal data into an instant pass-fail, using the OEM's own thresholds, something not all tools do and can be a real time saver. If you suspect a sensor to be nearing the end of its life, the tool also provides the data. Just keep in mind, depending on the vehicle, this data can be presented as hexadecimal. This matters because lagging sensors can make the PCM think converter oxygen storage is low when it's actually just fine. Since we have confirmed O2 sensor performance, let's take a look at the Catalyst monitor. The Catalyst monitor in Mode 6 of OBD2 provides the same test data the PCM uses to determine converter efficiency, making it invaluable for both diagnosing a failed converter and confirming a replacement. The Throttle 5 offers a pass-fail, but by reviewing the monitor's numerical results rather than just the pass-fail, you can see whether oxygen storage capacity has degraded near the manufacturer's thresholds, indicating a failing unit. After installing the new converter, running the Catalyst monitor again allows you to verify the repair is valid and complete. Catalyst efficiency codes like a P0420 and P0430 don't have to be a guessing game. By using the global OBD2 side of the launch Throttle 5, especially tools like Mode 1 for live data and Mode 6 for actual PCM test results, you can see exactly what the vehicle sees. That means diagnosing with confidence, avoiding unnecessary parts replacement, and confirming that your repairs are truly complete. The data is already there. The key is to knowing where to look and how to use it. With the right process, you'll save time, protect your bottom line, and deliver repairs that your customer can trust. I want to thank the folks at Launch for the use of the Throttle 5, and I want to thank you, the viewer, for your time. So as always, thanks for watching.